Today I'm going to show you how to embroider eyes on your mini doll head. First you need to gather your supplies. You need some embroidery thread, a pencil, a needle. I use pliers as well, and little snips. Now we're ready to start embroidering our doll's head. I have all of my supplies here. I have my embroidery threads, which I've already cut the 2 lengths for. The little mini doll head, I've covered that in a tricot cotton skin. I have a needle, 2 pins, a pencil, snips and pliers. I find these embroidery threads are a little too thick to use, so what I do is I separate the strands and I'm pulling out just 2. And I'll pull it very gently away from the others because I don't want to tangle it up. Now I have 2 strands together that I'll use for the eyes, and I'll do the same for the mouth colour here. As you can see, I've used 2 pins to mark where I want the eyes. If I'm not happy with this position, I simply take one out, use the pin itself to fix the tricot knit, and reposition it in a place that I think would be a bit better. When I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to use my pencil just over where that mark is, put a little dot, and same on the other side. I'll also use the pencil to put where I want the mouth. Now I'd like you to imagine that our little dot that we just created on our doll's head is about this size. Now this is how we have to make the stitches. We'd come from the back of the head and come about here, and we're going to do a tiny stitch here, come back under the skin and do another one from top to bottom next to it, back under, top to bottom. Can you see how they're getting just slightly larger than the last one? When we get to the middle, we're going to do about 3 that are about the same size before we start getting smaller again. Once we've done this one, we go back to the back of the head, tie the knot, come back and do the other eye. Okay, now I'll show you with the thread. Okay, so I'm starting with my needle and thread from the back of the head. Now, I have to take care to get this in the right spot. So it sometimes takes a little bit of manipulating to get that needle right beside that eye. Now, sometimes it's tricky, so I use my pliers to pull that through. You can see at the back here, I'm going to just leave that as it is. I'm going to do a little stitch to begin with, right next to the first where it came out. Now my stitches are going to get bigger as I go along. I don't want my thread to come out here because that's annoying. You want to carefully place your needle so your eyeballs don't get too large or too square looking. Now you'll have to work out as you go along how big your eye is going to be. Sometimes you can do 3 stitches in the middle, sometimes it'll be just 1. For me now, I just did maybe 2 stitches in the middle. Now I'm deciding that's my last stitch. I'm going to send my needle back through to the spot where I started. Here I'm going to tie a knot. I don't want it to bunch up here, so I'm very careful that doesn't tangle. So there's one eye. I'll tie a knot here to keep those threads nice and secure, and then I'll send my needle back through the head to the other eye to do the same. Okay, I'm just sending my needle back to the same position on the other eye. I'm going to pull that through, and I'll embroider this eye exactly the same way as I did the first. Start with a little stitch and then slowly, gradually the stitches will get larger towards the center before becoming smaller again. And I'm careful with my placement that my eyes aren't too large. When I do my second eye, I often look at the other eye to make sure it's symmetrical. Now I'm ready to do the mouth thread. I haven't tied a knot here, I've just got it coming straight through. Now the same as the eyes, you need to make sure it gets into the right position. I'm going to start from the right side and then I'll take it across to the left. And just next to that mouth. Now I'm going to send it straight back, just do one stitch. Careful not to let it tangle at the front. Now what I do here is I'll tie a little knot, just loosely, and then I'm going to send the needle back to do an additional stitch over that mouth. Now it's tricky to get the needle to go in the same spot again. You can gently push on the face to help that. And to the back again, making sure it doesn't tangle at the front. Tie your knot. Use your snips to cut your thread, and there you have your little face. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, show your support by giving it a like. And if you'd like to stay updated with all of my new tutorials, please subscribe.